Today, we're here to talk about this. Yeah, why? So, Dragon Sun Halo Head, or as most people like to call it, Hinokami M2, is really overpowered. As in, it's the best ultimate in the game, and it's not even close. To clear something up, that guy in the last clip was at full HP, 100%. That means you can get a full 100-0 combo off of that ultimate alone. So, that's what I'm here to talk about. Hopefully a developer watches this and realizes just how much of a mistake this move is, and makes some sort of nerf to it. Before we get into why this whole ultimate is so broken in the first place though, consider liking and subscribing so that you're notified of other helpful content just like this. Now, let's discuss this stupid move. So, to start things off, here are the stats. Hinokami M2, when used, has a very small startup animation before the user starts rushing in the direction they're facing. Anyone hit during the attack gets stunned, and then after the move ends, they take 30 damage and get ragdolled. That ragdoll can be comboed off of, though it is short enough that if you aren't quick enough on the draw, they'll escape. And the move's pretty fast, with a good hitbox as well, so your chances of dodging it aren't really that good. I'm sure with that alone, you can come to the conclusion that this thing is dumb, but I'll explain it in more detail for anyone who doesn't understand yet. First, it's 30 damage, which is a lot. By that, I mean it's enough to feed into a 100-0 combo, like what I just showed at the beginning. 30 damage is really good. That's about 3 thunderclaps in a row. So getting hit by this move definitely does deal a lot of damage compared to other stuff in the game. It's also free damage, which is what brings me to my next point. Because you basically can't dodge this move, and you have to rely on your opponent just being too dumb to land it if you want to have any kind of chance at not getting hit. The move goes extremely fast, has extremely low startup, and it's very hard to dodge with a hitbox that's pretty big. Because you basically just turn into a car and you only have to hit your opponent once to actually do the move, you're going to land it almost every single time you use it. If you end up missing it, that's entirely your fault. And if you end up somehow dodging it, not including going on a wall, then that's most likely because of your opponent being really dumb. Now, the low startup means that you can't react in time to actually escape like you can with Rengoku or Annihilation type, because those two moves have a ludicrous amount of startup that gives you enough time to just jump on a rock anywhere nearby. But this move activates near instantly. With a very short startup, that means you're basically never going to have the opportunity to dodge this no matter what. Sure, if this move had more startup, you could jump on a rock and just escape by that. But right now, it doesn't. So that option of escape is basically out the window unless you already are standing next to a rock in the first place. Now, the fact that this move can be comboed off of, thus the 100-0 combo, is a pretty big deal because that means that this move basically turns from being just 30 free damage into an actual one-shot if your opponent doesn't have an evasive. So if you're using water, or by any chance insect, or maybe even Nezuko, you're basically screwed because one use of this move and you're dead. Yeah, it's not balanced, especially for those kind of movesets that can't just escape it with their one move. So that's a problem. To first put things into perspective, let's compare it to other ultimates. First, starting off with the one that is most similar, which is Annihilation type. Annihilation type, from the Akaza moveset, is incredibly similar to Dragon Sun Halo Head. You become really fast, you do 30 damage if you hit anyone, and it also ragdolls them, starting a combo. Of course, just like all things that get power crept, Annihilation type is worse than Dragon Sun Halo Head in every single category. Because here's the thing, Annihilation type 1 has way more startup than the move, meaning that you can just jump on a rock if you want to escape it. 2, it can also be blocked to negate some of the damage, so if you want to take less than 30 damage, just hold F and you don't take that much damage from it. But Dragon Sun Halo Head bypasses block instead of block raking, so you can't negate the damage no matter what you do. And third, Annihilation type can only hit one person, while Dragon Sun Halo Head can hit multiple people at once, meaning that for any situation where you're fighting more than one person, Dragon Sun Halo Head takes the crown. The only single advantage that Annihilation type has is that you can use it at any HP percent. So if you want to pop it at the start of a fight, well, you can do that. But that's basically nothing when you compare it to a Dragon Sun Halo Head, which can do a 100-0 combo, hit multiple people, and can't really easily be avoided by just jumping in a rock because of just how low the startup is. It's just simply stupid how big the difference is between these two moves, with Annihilation type just being a straight up downgrade to Dragon Sun Halo Head. Now let's compare it to Rengoku, which is just a reskin of Annihilation type, but it does more damage. Rengoku has all of the same downsides that I mentioned with Annihilation type, except it has another unique downside, being that you have to be under 50% of your HP to even use it in the first place. So it shares that little downside with Dragon Sun Halo Head. However, it has another little benefit that kind of separates it, which is that it does 50 damage instead of 30. Only issue here is that you can also just jump on a wall and you're safe. Not really that scary of an ultimate when a literal stepping stool counters it completely. So yeah, Dragon Sun Halo Head once again wins, just because you can actually hit it. And also because it's better for boss rating since you can kill multiple people at once. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, but it also auto-executes, so you don't have to go through the trouble of pressing B on someone's dead body, and instead you can just use this move, and boom, they're dead. Yeah, it's not balanced at all. For the final little comparison, we've got Godspeed, which is kind of similar in that it's slow startup, starts a combo, yada yada yada. Here's the thing about Godspeed. Godspeed does 15 damage, and can also be perfect blocked. So there are a lot of ways to counter it. It also doesn't give any iframes at all, meaning that if you just want to knock them out of the Godspeed ultimate by simply using some lock-on move, or heck, even using a hyper armor move like Roar or Waterfall Basin, you can do that to counter it. There's so many different ways to counter Godspeed that you really don't have that much going for it when compared to Dragon Sun Halo Head. There's only one upside, which admittedly is kind of a big upside, and it's that it's completely instant, so you don't actually have any chance to react to it. However, the fact that Godspeed's instant means absolutely nothing when you can't even avoid Dragon Sun Halo Head in the first place. So yeah, that's that. Of course, I'm not just going to run my mouth without giving any kind of ways to fix this ultimate, so here's my proposed solution. And while it's not a perfect one, I feel like it's probably the best thing we have, since this move is basically just free damage. What I propose is nerfing the damage of this move to 10, and by that I mean the base damage. But if you hit another person, the damage increases by 10. So say you hit one person, it does 10 damage, hit 2 people, it does 20 damage, and hit 3 people, it does 30 damage. You can cap it at about maybe 30 or 50 damage, and yeah. The reason why this is going to work as a fix is because right now the issue is that there's no reason to use Hinokami M1 over Hinokami M2. Just because this one is better than every single ult in the game in every single conceivable category. But by doing this, you make it so you either get like 10 free damage in a combo, or it's a really good move for boss rating and dealing with multiple people. And if you nerf it like this, then you will have an actual reason to use Hinokami M1, which is so that you can get even more damage and potentially one-shot someone. So yeah, by doing this, you'd give people an actual reason to use Hinokami M1 over this overpowered mess of a move, and make it so that this move has an actual clear purpose rather than just being, haha, funny 30 damage, oh no, you die, yeah. As for it being free damage, I don't know how you'd fix that without completely gutting the move. Like, Rengoku and Annihilation type kind of just suck just because you can go on a wall, but this is also kind of unreactable, and I don't really know what to think of that, because, well, yeah. If you increase the startup, people would probably be able to go on a wall or something, so it'd probably be really hard for them to nerf the startup of the move without completely gutting it. The main reason why Hinokami M2 is such a big deal though is because Sun Breathing is already just like really strong. Sun Breathing already has everything it would need. It has a good combo starter, a good combo extender, 2 of them actually, no, 3. 3 good combo extenders, and a pretty good evasive that can combo start, with the only issue being the long cooldown. So having this blatantly overpowered ultimate just really sets the balance off. So yeah, I hope the developers see this video and maybe implement my solution, or do something about this stupid move's existence. Because Rogue Demon, a PvP battleground game, should have good balance. And this move is the exact opposite of that. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, consider liking and subscribing because we've reached the end of it all. I'm going to make more content just like this, so by subscribing, you get notified of it, and if you happen to like this video, you'll get to see more of this kind of stuff. Anyways, I'm New Eternally, and I'll see you next time in another video. Thank you very much for watching and supporting my channel, and have a nice day.